So the first question to Mr. Bhushan is, if it can be done in Beijing and Mexico City, what is preventing Delhi to become clean again?
Thank you very much for having me on your program. Let me start by saying that yes, it can be done in Delhi. It requires consistent, ambitious, long-term plan. Air pollution challenge cannot be solved in a year's time. So if we would have started seriously 10 years back, I'm sure we would have done better than Beijing. The fact is that most of our action or air pollution is reactive. We are not thinking long term. And that means that there is no consistent effort in achieving systemic changes. And that is why we have not been able to do it. But I will also like to say that the challenge in Delhi is far more complicated than Beijing and Mexico City. See, Delhi is about 2.7% of National Capital Region. It sits at the center of one of the most industrialized, urbanized, and agricultural part of India. So it is being hit by all three: urban, industrial, and agriculture. Beijing was never affected by agriculture. So the stubble burning seasonal pollution spike that you see in Delhi was never a problem for Beijing. And therefore, and the other thing was that the regional plan that China implemented, which you mentioned, Beijing, Tianjin, and Hebei, a contiguous area in which two of the major municipalities centrally administered, Tianjin and Beijing, and Hebei is a province with about 11 cities. So you're talking about a reasonably manageable administrative structure in which things could be done.
How did Mexico City did it, Mr. Bhushan? Because there are two examples, very polluted cities, Beijing and Mexico City. And you see, the point is not to say that things are different for Beijing and things are different for Mexico City, things are different for Delhi. The point is, things are not changing in Delhi. We might have different circumstances, but we are not changing them. Not enough has been done. I mean to say, we can't have we can have a sort of a long debate on the political will, but I don't want to have that. I really want to, because you are the people who understand the issue of what green technology is, I want to know how can Delhi improve. I mean, if Beijing can improve, if Mexico City can improve, I'm sure Delhi can improve. Sunil?
Yeah, okay. I would say that if Delhi would have started 10 to 15 years back, we might have done equally well or even better. I agree with Mr. Bhushan there. But the sad reality is that over last 10 to 15 years, we didn't start those cleaner actions. And in those 10 to 15 years, what we have led a lot of industries, what we have done is we have led a lot of industries to mushroom in these regions. Those SMEs, MSMEs, Rohtak, Sonipat are those industrial clusters which were never known as industrial towns or districts are now hosting a lot of industries. What we have also done in last 10 to 15 years is very contrary to Beijing, where Beijing was cutting down on coal consumption in the larger region or larger area around Beijing. We have allowed more and more coal-based power plants to come up there. As recent as this year, there is a new coal-based power plant which started operation. So we went in the other direction to where Beijing was leading to. Now, even if we would have had all these power plants, all these new industrial clusters coming in, there could have been better management of these in form of coming up with community boilers for these SMEs, where we could have better controls, designated industrial corridors which are better planned, coal-based power plants which can't be set tomorrow can have better emission control technologies installed there, and the transportation system, which sadly till now has been very privately owned or private vehicle centric. The number of buses which were required before 2010 was about 10,000 buses. We right now stands at around 6,000 buses overall with DTC under different routes, and maybe only about 70% of them operate on the roads. So what we have done is we have gone in the reverse direction to where Beijing was leading, and there cannot be any solution to air pollution unless we cut down pollution at source. What I would also like to say is, while the situation is grim. There is definitely something done about reducing air pollution levels. PNG supply to some
Okay.
industries, electrification of the transportation, BS6 shift from BS4. All those things have been done. And what they have done is the air pollution levels in Delhi, which were around 100 microgram in 2015,
You know,
are
see, the
still 100
larger issue
uh,
is one which people need to understand. You can't clean Delhi unless and until you clean the areas surrounding it. Air does not have a border. I think a lot of people say that, you know, let's clear Delhi, you know, because you know, Delhi is getting polluted. How will you clear Delhi if the entire area surrounding Delhi is not cooperating? So you can't do that. So in that context, let me take a quick comment from Professor Khilnani sir. Uh, Earlier, people used to think that the pollution is only impacting lungs. Now, I have read studies that it impacts insulin, it's leading to inflammation, sir, inflammation, strokes, older people are having problems. There was a report I read that even pregnant women are getting affected in terms of, you know, the unborn child is also getting affected. So, in terms of toxicity, sir, can you just put it in plain perspective for our people that it's not just about lungs, it's impacting our entire health, including life expectancy.
So, thank you very much, and very rightly said. When I started working in the field of air pollution in early 90s with the Ministry of Environment, we were measuring only PM10 because it was thought that PM10 crosses the larynx and goes to the windpipe and lower down. Later on, it was realized that PM 2.5 is the one which goes to the lowest part of the lung, which is called alveolus, and it causes the damage. But actually, why our air purifiers and all are failing are that there's something called ultrafine particulate matter, which is called nanoparticles. These particles are zero point 0.1 micron and smaller. These are the particles which actually cross the alveoli, go to the blood vessels and go to all over the body, be it brain or intestine or genital tract or breast, and so on and so forth. And there are gases: carbon monoxide, nitric oxide, sulfur dioxide, and ozone. They are not barred by the lung. The lung is only a conduit for them to reach the blood and goes into all the system. Now, I will, of course, the Chicago studies, we all know that average lifespan of Indian is gone down by 5.3 years and Delhi adds by 11.9 years. That is staggering, but why? What is the reason? If you talk about children, there was a study done in names which I was a part. The Delhi children lung functions were much lower than the Tirupati children of primary school. And then it's not, nothing has been done. I do not quite agree with that. Nothing, consistently there has been changes. The first study which was done in AIMS, which showed that there was an increased number of emergency visits with COPD, asthma, and heart attacks by 21 to 24% in response to PM10.
Khilnani sir, you know, as you know, Mr. Bhushan was talking about, so you have a pollution outside and then you have an internal pollution, you know. Not everyone can afford a machine inside the house, sir. What is one supposed to do? Drink water?
No, but the thing is that first I would like to tell you that it's big illusion that if you have a air purifier in the house, you are safe.
Really?
That is totally incorrect, you know. Just because your purifier is showing PM 2.5 or 30 or 40 or 10, it doesn't mean you are safe.
Are you
It does
saying it's
not.
a placebo?
It's a, I am a member of the WHO expert committee. WHO has dumped it as not having any impact on health, and I fought with them that our air quality is very low. But they said there's no evidence. The reason is that it doesn't stop nanoparticles, it doesn't stop carbon monoxide, it doesn't stop so many gases, and I always say that
So
air
what are you
pollution.
saying? Tomorrow the markets are going to crash, sir. If they
I don't care. I have to speak what I
Okay.
think is right, and I want to tell you a few things in the public interest, which I must since I am on this program. How you can protect yourself. You know, first and foremost, please spend as little time as possible outside. Don't go for walks early in the morning when the smog is there.